friends, and we are here once again with yet another episode of Pause Talk. And today we have the light with us. Yes, she is Deepa. She is an international trainer and coach. Welcome, Deepa, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm really, really blessed. Thank you.
So I will now request Deepa to spread the light, and first, she has to introduce herself.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. So as you said, I'm an international trainer and coach. I'm into leadership and transformational coaching. And I'm really committed to empowering personal growth and transformation through mindset shifts, through behavioral change, and inclusive learning environment. That's one thing I'm really passionate about. And I embrace my identity as a woman with the focus, as I said, is on learning and leadership, but life itself, and I do not want to put that as the only identity, because I think we all have multiple identities, right? And I'm a daughter. I'm privileged to share my life with a really unique powerhouse. As I was talking to you, there's a lot of women who've influenced my life, and my father, a big one. And my beacon of work-life harmony, my husband and my little one. She's a big inspiration. When we were brought up as kids, there was a different way we were brought up to how the kids are being brought up today. And she's my best teacher and one of the biggest critic in my life, I say. Will not fail to tell me when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And so all that makes who I am, actually.
Wonderful. So wonderful. So wonderful, Deepa. And I will just share here that when she says that she embraces the identity of a woman, I can go further and say I'm really proud of my identity as a woman. Because yes, I embrace it, but yes, I am also really, I have that pride that I am that woman who can be a nurturer, no? Because a woman is one who can really nurture. And I'm not saying that men are not, because yes, some men will have that power also to nurture, as women have the power to dominate like men. So similarly, when there are men who will actually have that nurturing power, but that is one thing which makes us really unique. And I really feel very proud of being a woman that way. So anytime. I will now, yeah, I will request now Deepa to please share a little about her professional journey.
Sure. So if I start my professional journey, so I completed my graduation from Lady Srinath College like any other child, and did about a 1-year administration course. And I was kind of, so I was kind of looking at what I wanted to get done in life. So I had a few things I wanted to do. And at that time, like, things are not very structured like they are right now, right? You would try a few hands-on things, and I was happy with that. So I wanted to try things and, take my own journey and its own course. We came from a middle-class family. So, we used to take tuitions when I was in school to actually fund for myself. So honestly, my professional journey started when I was in school. And so my parents made us all very independent. In fact, all three sisters used to take tuitions and things like that. So I earned after graduation for 2 years to fund for my own masters. We were not great financially at that time. And during my master's in international trade and marketing, I was looking for opportunities, when you get that final year internship and things like that. And I landed up at a diploma technician, thinking it would be a temporary stunt, and taken a long time there, loved it. And I worked during days and used to go for my evening classes, drive back home at 10 and 11. And that's how I finished my master's. And learning for me is growth. I remember this quote from Marshall Goldsmith, which stays very close to my heart, which says, what got you here won't get you there. So you have to keep constantly striving for the next level and look at what more you can do. So I've constantly looked at learning and doing different things. I've changed my profession 4 to 5 times, and I absolutely have no regrets. I started from marketing into managing teams till I landed up in learning. Well, that's a different story altogether. But absolutely, I feel I have kind of, as you said, it's a light, right? So, and I was talking to you that day, and I said that I feel like a rainbow. I've tried a few different colors in my life, and as you're looking at a rainbow, people say the sun is behind you. So it took me a big turn for me a complete U-turn for me to realize that light part of it
Absolutely.
and embrace the name that I have, Deepa.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, tried a few things, and I think all this has added to my portfolio as a woman, as an individual, as a learner. None of the training goes waste.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So she has been learning and she's been training. She's been learning and she's been training. That is what her journey is all about. That is what I can just conclude from in just 2 words: learning and training. And she is a constant
learning
learner.
And sharing.
And sharing. That is sharing and training people to again let them also become an empowered person as she herself has become so empowered. And talking about rainbow, that is beautifully said by her, Deepa, that a rainbow is having different colors, but all those colors come together to make that one light, that one bright white light. And that is what Deepa is, that one bright light just right in front
of us. Thank you. Really kind of you.
So now that we are in the pause talk today, we need to talk about the real pause which has happened, and what you're seeing, Deepa, here today is not because of her learning and training in institutes. It is the learning and training she got from life that has added on to what she has become today. So let me now delve into the pause which she has got in her life. Please share about that.
Yeah, sure. These are situations, or I don't know whether to call them challenges. I call them chances, like we say in reframing in NLP.
Yeah.
So these are chances that kind of makes you a stronger person and probably takes you to the next level. So, the welcome invite was, I don't know, I want to call it welcome invite, was that when we were trying to expand our family, and one of the things, of course, is that I had some medical issues. So we were going through different things in terms of how to expand. And medical facility was not that advanced. And I'm talking about 2005, 4, 5, 6. So I had a few issues. We went through a few IUIs and then finally went through the IVF process. And at that time, they would put you on a complete bed rest. So it was like a complete bed rest, except I could get up for, washroom and little breaks. I was in bed for about 8 to 9 months.
Wow.
And they wouldn't let me even watch TV because the doctor said that, your emotions can go up and down when you're watching different things on TV. So I had a little tape recorder in the room. And we shifted to Hyderabad. So I took a sabbatical. My husband was working there. And there was a small room in which there used to be a tape recorder. I could listen to music. And I read. And I did a few things on my own. The only other pastime was to sit in the balcony, actually watch people. That was my big sit back moment. And I was actually enjoying, and I was trying to figure out what was it that was making me stronger and actually enjoy that moment, even being on a bed rest. I mean, people think differently. Was that what I was looking forward to at the end of 9 months?
Yes, absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
So that whole thing of looking forward to that strong passion or the intent I had at the end of it probably made me go through that as an individual. And that was a pause for a positive change.
Yes.
And during that time, I applied for this learning and development position because I was almost at that verge like any other mother would do. Should I continue my line? I've had this after a long time. Should I be focusing on my child? So I was in that frame, and I have to be honest, I was. But our child, Advika, has been a blessing. I actually go back on my dad. My dad was a fun one, right? And one thing I remember from him is not to take life too seriously.
Yeah.
So that has stayed with me. You should keep that inner child alive. And I was just enjoying that moment. I was just, whatever little things I was doing, I was just enjoying that moment. And that actually made me think about getting into learning and development because I was just enjoying those reads. I just went back, reflected, what are the things that I have done and in which area did I love the most? And L&D was one of the areas. Though every area has taught me, marketing was brilliant to connect with people. I think the people aspect is one thing I have enjoyed and learned a lot from human behavior and things like that. And they have also taught me a lot.
Yeah.
It's a give and take when you're connecting with people. Like I'm learning a lot about you, just talking to you and just even having that intro call with you. I was like, God, there is so many commonality between us. And, every person kind of inspires you something new way or not. And
absolutely.
That's when I kind of yeah, that took me to applying for a learning and development position. I got through. Sitting at home for a year, not knowing what's happening in the world. That was my that was as I said, a pause for a positive change, as I call it.
Actually, and I can just tell that this is like that when we always talk about winter turning to spring, and in the winter, what happens to that seed who is which is there inside? No, that seed is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, so that when the spring comes, no, it will bloom to its full. That is what
Absolutely.
happens, you know. And if sometimes if there is a fall spring during the winter, and that seed says, "Oh my God, it's been so dark, and I want to bloom now," and if the seed tries to bloom in between the winter, it will shrivel off very soon.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
a seed who waits for the real spring to come and it blooms at that time, it will stay longer, and the bloom is so beautiful.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
that is how you have actually bloomed after your pause, and you made it into a real positive one. And I must say that because every woman has this kind of a pause. Any married woman who wants to expand their family, they have to have a little break in their career or probably their studies. Somewhere they have to take that break, and then they go on that maternity phase of their life, and they are become a truly a nurturer to bring out that small life in their life. And this is
Absolutely.
what
And
you
Monica,
have done.
honest, yeah,
Yeah, please.
Monica,
Yeah.
nothing is right or wrong. Nothing is right or
Yes.
wrong with women.
Yes. Yes.
Whatever decision they take it, whether they want to take a break or not take a break. I'm not going to say whichever works for them, I think is the best one for them.
Actually.
And one of the things probably that has stayed with me probably is because our parents raised us being independent. I thought if I'm going to raise my child, my mother used to work shift duties at that time.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm talking about 80s and 90s. My mother used to do shift duties, and my dad used to be home taking care of us because he retired before my mother, right?
Hmm.
And they had
Hmm.
an age difference. And he used to take care of the house. I've seen my dad doing kitchen, cleaning the house, and my mother used to go to office. So I have not seen that difference between the roles.
Correct.
I think that
Correct.
together they make the house work. And that has
Absolutely.
stayed with me. I never saw that it was two different things.
Wonderful.
And
That is so. And you, I must say that Deepa, you're really fortunate to have had that kind of a beautiful childhood when you have seen
absolutely.
there is no discrimination between the two gender roles. No, we call about
Mm.
gender roles. Everybody is given
Roles,
those roles.
absolutely.
Your role,
Absolutely.
this is your role. But and today I'm saying that a lot of women of our generation are actually raising their sons to be like that. That there is no difference between the two roles, and you can do both. Like you can be a house,
Absolutely.
you can be a house husband, and you can be a working woman, so that is fine. We don't have to have different roles, and this is like house is both. No, it is a house is made a home when two people live there with their family, and then it is for both
True,
of them to
true.
take care of the whole house. So very beautifully said that, Deepa, that you got such kind of a childhood that you were able to imbibe those values, and then you were able to come out and raise your children, your child in the same way. So this was one very
Absolutely.
beautiful pause that she really transformed into a positive one. And there's one more. There's more to Deepa. It is not stopping here. She is that strong steel inside, and we are going to listen to one more pause about her.
You asked me to talk about it, so I'll talk about it. It was a small pause. I wouldn't call it a big pause, and it uh, it could be this or it could be now. But what had happened was that we were on a family holiday, and we had a beautiful trip to Paris. And on the way back, sometimes it was very windy and things like that, and I caught cold. Um, and I slept on a night, and in the early morning when I got up and was having a sip of water, and I could hold on to the water in my
Hmm.
I woke up my husband and I knew that we had a stroke. So it's called facial paralysis, bell palsy. It's not as dangerous as other
Hmm.
strokes. It
Hmm.
can get cured with the right treatment over a period of time, and around 90 to 95% of the you can reverse over a
Hmm.
period of time. It could take 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years, depends on the
Hmm.
person. Um, because I was abroad and they are kind of very conservative with steroids and medication, that kind of delayed my process, honestly.
Hmm.
Thankfully, my sister was there, who's also a doctor, so we came back. What? This was just one part of it, right? And as I was going through that, uh, one of the things is that I had put in a very big proposal to the organization before I had left, a new idea that I wanted to start for building a community. And the topic itself was building a strong community as an organization. And I was, as you know, was passionate about learning and working with people. And I had the opportunity to present it in a big forum, the idea. And because of this condition, the speech is not clear. So your voice isn't clear, your face is all, with paralysis. I wasn't so worried about my looks and appearance at that time. I was more worried in terms of what I thought people should receive the idea.
Yeah, right.
Because I put in a lot of effort in putting that proposal. So I was called in and said, look, in this condition, do you do it, or should we pass it on to somebody else to present? And you know how that is your passionate idea and you really want to put in an effort. And actually present it also. That was the whole thing. So I told them, give me just 10 days. And if my speech isn't clear by 10 days, then you can give it 20 minutes. But I had started working with someone else to present it. And the things that I did in those 10 days, Monica, I think people would have taken 3 months to heal. Those 15 days, I had taken those electric little treatments. They put in the electric current through those nerves to open it up. And I practiced that speech, Monica, that one-page speech. Day in and day out. Every word I sluttered, I would repeat it 10 times, 50 times till I got that word. So people don't know about it, but I would sleep in that speech. I would get up in that sleep. So I put in that effort in that 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, I did that whole stuff thing and I got a standing ovation. So that's a different story. But what went through that effort of those 10 days was a different game changer for me. Because again, you are passionate about what you want, what you are looking forward to. I think if people are that strong about their being, I think anything can be achieved. Your medical sciences, anything can be beaten.
Correct.
So amazing. That clarity needs to be there in terms of what we want in our life. And you can start, if you say, once you know the being state, you can have and do things around it.
Yes, absolutely. Amazing. So amazing. I must really appreciate. And anybody who will listen to this one small thing will know that it is your grit and determination to really overcome whatever you are facing in life. You can do it. You have all the potential inside you to bring out that, and you can just overcome anything which you face in life. And one thing I'm now correlating in the 2 pauses. In both the 2 pauses, you actually delivered after the pause. You delivered
a pause I can share where I didn't deliver after the pause, but I'm quite happy about as well.
Yes, but the first pause you delivered, and after the second pause, you again delivered your presentation.
Yeah, different delivery, though both are like babies to me.
Yes, both were a babies for you. Your presentation was that was your baby, and you really wanted to deliver yourself. So that is, I just came to my mind that those 2 pauses were actually
never thought like that till you mentioned it, Monica.
Yeah. And now that we can see Deepa in this state, after all of that she's gone through and went through. So I will now ask Deepa to share what is she actually doing post the pause. That Deepa who was there before the pause and what she is now today, what came about and what she has become today, and what is she doing post the pause. Please share that.
Look, I was very clear I would never retire. Okay, people do want to retire and start looking at what they want to do. I mean, retire in the sense I didn't want to retire in terms of, I think mind and body, we say in NLP, are part of the same system. We need to nurture our body and take care of the body, but also need stimulus for our brain, right? So both needs to work in tandem. So I knew that my brain needed to be kept alive as well. So one thing that was very clear in my mind. And as I was going through different things, I think COVID has done a lot of wonders with many of us.
Yes.
In sitting back and relaxing, what more can we do with our life? And I want to mention this person. I don't even know whether he would be hearing this podcast. Is this guy called Sri Kumar? So I had met him during one of the events at the work, and he introduced me to the world of NLP in the first instance. And he was my mentor at that time, and I did a few work with him, and I was just awed by the whole idea of neurolinguistic programming and what we can do with it. So I started with that, And then I met Magical Rafi, the magic of change. And there's been no turning back. I've been associated with them since then, whether it's practitioner or masters or TTT or manifest, various things, events that I've worked with him now. And I've got actually 2 jobs. So women kind of say that, do I take a pause from that and get focused on this, or can I do both? I never thought there is 2. I just felt like these are just part of an extension of,
absolutely.
Right? So
Absolutely.
I had a full-time, I still have a full-time job that I love because it's still into learning and development, the field that I'm really passionate about. And neuro-linguistic programming training and one-on-one coaching is giving me the inner joy and satisfaction as well. And I want to continue with both. So I manage my full-time job. I work on neuro-linguistic programming, couple of hours every day, and I dedicate 1 day in a weekend, Saturdays, to it. Today is a Sunday, and I'm doing one, which means I took my break here. No, today's Saturday. Today's Saturday.
Today.
God, look at me.
Yes.
God, look at me. Look at me. The days that fly. So Saturdays I do kind of work on stuff, but Sunday is my time, me time and my family time. And I'm managing both. I have a team that I'm managing. I have an 83-year-old mother, my sister. We're very closely in the family. So what am I looking forward to is, it is on a forward mode now, pretty much. I'm on a forward mode. There are no more pauses. It's just going at a pace that I can manage.
Yes.
It just feels being alive, doing
Yes.
so many things. You know, we are human beings and we are blessed with so many potential. We can make a lot of difference to the world. I heard this as a quote from someone: make a difference, be mad.
Absolutely.
You know? I want to stay that mad person ever. And so let's just see. I'm very passionate about leveraging this NLP and leveraging my potential as a woman and doing a lot of work. You know, you're part of that journey that I mentioned is Wow Women, where we are trying to do a lot of work with women, support them and come up with programs that they can manage, retreats and various other things are being planned. So that's the other area that I'm really working towards and I'm passionate about. So yeah, the list, it's a long list. You will hear a few things in the next few weeks. But I have a few things lined up for me in terms of what I want to do as I take my life forward. As I said, it's on a forward mode. No more pauses.
No more pauses. And amen. But even if you have a pause, we know how to navigate through it. So that you've already done. So we can always go back. Those pauses actually have become those anchors in our life, which will actually help us to know that whenever there is a pause or a break in our life, it is only a pause for that moment. It is not a pause for life. So that understanding, when we have dawned on us, then we can live our life more beautifully, more smoothly, and more impactfully. That is what I can say.
As I said, these pauses are bringing in positive changes all the time. So even if it is not working for you, there is some learning, There are no failures, only learnings, you say in NLP and in other languages. So there's always a few learnings that you would get from these. So
amazing. This is one joyful woman here who is just on the way, on the forward. And her inner laugh is so infectious that you can just keep on seeing her, and you can keep that love right can be created by just being, that she's the light who can just illuminate the whole room. Thank you so much for being that, Deepa. Last message for our audience.
I've spoken so much about women, so I do want to give a couple of messages there if possible. One is, as I said, not to take your life too seriously. I said this one of the webinars for women where I said, family for me is spelled Famely. If me is in sync, if you as an individual are in sync, then the whole family is in sync. You can bring that work-life harmony at home. So please do take care of yourself. You are equally important. And that's one thing I wanted to definitely share. And the other quote that has stayed, and I shared with you because you are so much into this as well. And, I spoke about this in one of the sessions. Gautam Buddha, his last days, he shared this with his chief disciple because they were all worried in terms of what happens if Gautam Buddha takes enlightenment. And he said, Apo Deepo Bhava, be your own light. So my actually quote comes from there. to everyone, women, men, children, everyone who want to do it, is that secret of your success lies within you.
Yeah.
You can take all the learnings, you can take all the support from, you need the support mechanism, but if you are passionate inside about what you want, you can aim for sun, the star. There is no one sun, there will be multiple suns and stars in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that needs to be very clear in terms of what's your intent, what you're passionate about. Rest will just fall into place, guys,
Correct.
as
Correct.
long as you don't leave that passion and the intent.
Absolutely. So wonderfully said. You have the inner power and you have to just unleash that inner power. And even if you're having that pause in your life, that is just a chance for you to become more forward looking like Deepa in your life. So, anybody who is hearing this talk today and would have resonated anything from this talk, if you are undergoing a pause or if you are already overcome that pause, you are welcome to be the next guest on this show. You can DM
Beautiful.
me and I will just contact you and we can create this ripple of joyousness through our show.
Can
Yeah.
I just add one little thing for you, Monica? You're doing a
Yeah.
brilliant work calling these women and sharing their inspirational stories. People have their struggles, people go through different struggles, and people think their struggle is the biggest. I just want to
Yeah.
say everyone has their own story. And
Right.
if we can make a difference with your work, even with one woman, you should be really proud with every podcast that you're working on. I have been fortunate to have a wonderful husband who supported me in all this, because that's something, and that's probably is letting me do what I'm doing. But also, it's not that I've been fortunate. We make things work, right? So I
Yes.
think
Yes.
it's the work from both the ends in terms of, as I said, if you're passionate, you can make anything work.
Correct.
So brilliant work, Monica, and I hope that people get inspired. As I said, I'm touching 50, guys. I'm not going to hide that fact. And touching that 50, I feel like I've just started a brand new life all over
Yeah.
again. Every year, I feel like I'm starting a brand new life with the same
Yeah.
energy and same passion. There is no end. Just take care of your health. And as I said, secret of your success lies within you. So be passionate about what you can get.
Absolutely. So wonderfully said. So just have that zest in your life and you can do wonders at any age. Age is just a number. So thank you so much, Deepa. It was really wonderful having you here. And let's stay connected. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Loved talking to you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have a great day. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.